Hey YouTube, Scotty B here. I'm going to talk about my 1985 Chevy cucv 5/4 ton truck. Things I wanted to talk about it was, why did I buy this truck? Why did I buy a 1985 former military vehicle? Well, for one, I like old vehicles. When I grew up with my father, growing up with my dad, he was big into cars. We would go to car shows as a family. He even restored a '57 Chevy in our garage. And growing up with that, I was real young when he did that car. So I learned a little bit, but I learned to appreciate older cars. Like when I went to car shows, I remember seeing a lot of cars from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, just amazing cars. And guys that customized their cars too. It was cool seeing what they did. A lot of work, a lot of dedication. And what my father did too is a lot of work. I'll talk about that in a future video if you guys want to see that. And yeah, so I always had an appreciation for older vehicles, and there's just a simplicity to that too. And I worked on newer cars professionally. I was a mechanic. I had ASE certs, and I'll do a whole video about being a mechanic and also about the current state of affairs with the auto industry and the repair industry, which I'm sure some of you have seen videos or know is not in the best place right now. So why did I do this? This thing's simple. Anything on this you can work on with basic hand tools. It's a breath of fresh air. Actually, you could sit in the engine compartment and work on it. I actually had the wheel wells off to stand in the engine compartment so I could pull the heads off. It's just easy to work on. And I'm sure some of you have seen the prices of new trucks and even some used trucks. So why did I get a truck though? So I'm kind of simple when it comes to things. If I need it, I'll go get it. If I don't really need it, I don't need it. I don't need to buy it. So I didn't buy an old truck just because, oh, it's cool. I mean, this one is cool. A lot of people tell me it's cool. I bought a truck because I needed a truck. I mean, I have a good amount of property. I have needs for a pickup truck bed. So I thought, I got to find myself a truck. So when I went on the little adventure of finding a truck, there was a lot of overpriced garbage. Newer trucks are just too expensive. I didn't feel like taking on the financial responsibility of a loan, and I already own another vehicle. So I was like, well, maybe if I trade my winter car in, I'll get a truck. That way I'll have a 4-wheel drive truck and maybe a kind of a beater I can drive in the winter. Well, that was even becoming a difficult adventure. So eventually I found this truck, and it was really affordable, and it was from out west, and it was clean, not rusty, not beat up, not smashed. I mean, it's got some dents and dings here and there, but I mean, I'm buying it for a truck. It's not a showpiece. I want to use it. I mean, I've hauled gravel in this thing, firewood, dirt, anything I need, put it in the truck. And that's what I bought it for. And I do drive it occasionally to work, and I haul scrap with it too. It's a good truck. But I wanted something simple, affordable, and pretty inexpensive. And the insurance on this is cheap too. So, and also the parts, those are also pretty inexpensive. I mean, that's why I grabbed it. I have another vehicle. It was cheap to buy, it's cheap to insure, it's cheap to run, and it can deal with neglect okay. Like, it's just sitting here. It doesn't mind sitting here. There's no computers. It's all mechanical and has a basic electronic system. Actually, I'm sorry. I was lying. There is one circuit board that runs the glow plug system. And, if I don't want that circuit board or that glow plug system, I can just run a switch that you just turn on and off. So it's a simple vehicle. And that's what I like about a lot of older cars. And, I'm sure you've seen the video of me talking about my tractor or my other Graveleys that I have. That stuff is simple. It was made for people to fix. The components in them are made to be rebuilt. There's manuals to rebuild them. It's not like it's a secret knowledge. You can get the manual, and it shows you how to rebuild it, and you can order a parts kit. A lot of stuff today, it's not rebuildable. It's throw it out. Oh, it's bad. Swap it out. Throw it out. And, when I was younger, hey, whatever, solve the problem. It's bad. Throw it out. Just put it in. You're done. There's no no having to worry about it. You don't have to find a guy to rebuild it. You don't have to take it apart yourself. I guess it saves time, but at the end of the day, it's, everyone's talking about being environmentally friendly. Something that you can rebuild that can give you a long service life, in my opinion, is more environmentally friendly than something you have to throw it out every couple of years. And it's also more affordable. I mean, you think about our parents, or maybe in some people's case, your grandparents, that's how stuff was. You bought something and you got a long life out of it. Now, some people argue with me and say that these exact trucks, these square bodies, rotted out in a couple of years. And that's true. It depends on where you lived, but it also depends on how you take care of a vehicle. I've owned vehicles for over a decade. And people told me that car will never make it, that car will never make it. And I had that car a long time. So it's also how you take care of your stuff too. And I think, one thing that you're going to notice in any videos I do is maintenance, preventative maintenance, and having some care for your equipment will do you justice over a long period of time. It'll save you money, it'll save you frustration. And I learned that when I was trying to become a professional mechanic. And I learned that from a lot of older techs. I learned that from a lot of older people, or boomers. Everyone, does the boomer thing. Oh, don't listen to the boomers. But, there's a lot of good knowledge that they have. And some stuff is not so good, though. But for the most part, taking care of your equipment, and that is why I went with an old truck, is because everything on this is serviceable. I can fix everything in my garage. I don't need a scan tool. I don't need proprietary software. I don't need $2,000 taillights that communicate to a body control module. Safety features, you have a seat belt. Just don't crash into things. There's people that can hit you too, but it's a trade-off. It depends on what you want to do, but that's why I bought an old truck. I didn't need it as a primary vehicle. It serves its purpose as a secondary vehicle, and it serves me well, and I'm happy with it. And yeah, there's stuff I'm fixing on it. I mean, it's 40 years old. You're gonna have weird 40-year-old car problems, like window seals don't seal like they used to, stuff like that. So I guess also what I'm saying is there's a lot of drive for people now, or maybe that's not the correct word, but there's a lot of interest. Yeah, interest. That's the word. There's a lot of interest for old cars now. And, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm just going to go buy an old car that'll solve my problem. But they don't know about a lot of the old car issues. So what I want to say is, if you're going to go buy an old car, and I'm going to have more videos on this because I've done this. I've done this a couple times with older vehicles. Actually, all my vehicles are, they're 10 years or older. So I've done this a lot. We're going to have a whole video on that, on used cars, older cars, what you got to do to keep them in service, so there'll be more of that. But it's just also something to think about. A lot of the newer stuff, I always like to say, like, if you buy something new, you want it to be better. Like, you generally, newer is better. Growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s, we saw a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool new stuff. And it was always like, man, what's the next thing? How cool is it going to be? And I can say in my time that I've watched things not get as good. Like, just some newer stuff is just, it's not that great. And there's a lot of people having problems with newer vehicles. I mean, it's a concern. And they're expensive. They're not cheap. It'd be different if they were getting cheaper. Then who cares? If the car was 10 grand brand new and it shorted out or something before the warranty, whatever. You fix it, or I'll just buy another one. But now it's like, these things are like 40, 50 grand, and some of them are spending more time in the shop than they're being driven. There's someone I know that's on their third new car because they blew up. The engines blew up. And it's just sad. And I'm going to do a whole bunch of videos on that, why there's a lot of problems with newer cars. And, there's a lot of conspiracy, and there's a lot of stuff about that, but I'll tell you exactly what it is, because when I was learning to be a mechanic, we learned all about the regulations, all about everything the government puts on there, plus what the industry itself wants to do. So we'll have videos on that. But I can say that old stuff is great. It has its quirks. It has their little problems you might have to deal with. Maybe you have to shift. Oh my God, I have to shift. I have to roll the window down. Oh my God. it's not that big of a deal. It's great. I love driving this thing. There's no radio in this. I don't care. It's awesome. I can listen to the sounds of the road. Also, being a 6.2 diesel, you can't hear yourself anyways. You wouldn't be able to hear the radio anyway, so who cares? So anyways, if you guys like my content, please like and please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And there's going to be more videos later, so thank you for watching, and you guys have a good day.